the Division universe. So because of that, we didn't have a lot of space-looking assets, and I had to make some like the ISS that you pull off from the buoyancy room or other like things that they're not necessarily part of the bigger picture of the narrative, but they're part of the narrative of the space in terms of what the space is used for.
Oh, that's really, I think, a good thing for do level design. In fact, you can put something of your ideas and context in it.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. No, like that depends. I think your seniority and as well as how much your lead trusts you, but in general, they give us a lot of freedom of express our vision of the space as far as it follows the general art direction guideline. It's not like we're not just 3D monkeys, as someone mentioned once in a call, but we're also like doing something. Guess. I guess. What is your platform, Ale? Well, were you like you making those characters and those monsters for a game, right?
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm, yeah, it's actually I'm making them for concepting in 3D and for telling a story which will be told in a different ways. So with comics, video games, and cartoons.
So a mix of medias.
Yes, a mix of the medias and one product which is the principal one. I don't know how to say, like the most important as narrative. Like the guide will be this, which you call CG comics, which will be like 3D comics playable in every frame. But
That's cool.
the the road will be really long, but we started.
Very cool. Have you ever played What Remains of Edith Finch?
Not by having in my wish list on Steam. I
Yeah,
have to
I
play it.
have played, and it's really cool.
And do you remember all of the part where you are playing in a comic?
Yep.
It's very cool. So you should definitely play that just
For
because of
reference,
that.
yeah, of course.
Because in general, they came out with a lot of good mechanics and a lot of good touches in the way that they made the game.
Was an indie developer, in Fincher.
Yeah,
Yeah, basically an indie.
are they still
Now,
indie? I don't know.
yeah, it's really hard to define what is an indie nowadays
Yeah, in
because
fact.
they got a publisher and they got a pretty huge one. Well, not so enormous one, but it's an important one. They got, as I remember, Annapurna is the publisher, so they got a publisher. But, you know, it's but yes, they are a small team working on it, and it's really nice. It's it's a story where you discover the each member of your family, and when you discover it, you in for each section talking about this parent or your grandparents and so on, you have a different gameplay mechanics, which is really cool.
Oh,
So every 10 minutes the game change from in a part where you are an octopus, in another part you are flying on a swing, in another part you are an eagle, in another one you are
but
cutting fish.
also just the
So,
subject. It's very comic. I don't know.
yeah, in a part you are playing, you are seeing the story, reading a comic. In another one you are a photographer, so every time is different. From It's really cool.
I don't know why. Imagining that, I had a flash of Sandman. I don't know why, but maybe
Yeah, yeah,
maybe
yeah, sometimes
paraphrase.
get the vibes of it.
Never played Sandman.
No, if you didn't read it, I really suggest to read Sandman, the comic by Neil Gaiman, because it's one, I think, of the best stories ever written on comics. It's really good.
Really.
Comics, cool. Cool.
I think it's my favorite one.
Nice. And did you read the prologue?
Uh,
It came out, I think, around 2014, something like that.
I
Overture, something.
maybe. Well, let me check. Maybe I have this one here. The Overture.
Overture, yes.
Yes, I've got it.
Uh-huh. That was good also.
Yeah,
I
that's the story. Yeah, if I remember correctly, is the story.
of him before.
Yes, that ends with the Dream, when Dream was scoped,
Yes, as it started, the original one.
and then they started the original one. Yes, I got it on my library.
Leo, I have a question for you. I don't know if there's someone else. No, okay. But how will impact your game ability, your gameplay, action, your flavor in playing games, in doing the levels? Like I see before that you were playing some fictional scenes of the soldier and stuff. So how much you have to be a gamer for being a level design?
I think for be a level design in specific, which is the role of someone who makes the level fun from a gameplay point of view, I think it's important that you know what's around you. So you know what other games have done, and you know what's the state of the industry, and you know how, based on how people enjoy a game, you can tell what they did good about it, and you can try to improve that in your game, or like try to avoid things that didn't work in case something went bad. So I think in terms of level designer, you should know how other games works and how the industry standards. In terms of environment artist, which is a role that pair with the level design, I think what you just need to know is how to tell a story with the way you place environment, where you place props. Because at the end, if you're working in like in a big company, you always get paired with a level designer, so you will always make sure that
Okay.
the game is fun, but you have to make sure that it's nice, it's pretty, it has the right stories and things like that. If you're like talking about yourself, I think it's good that you play some games so that you can learn what they did that works and what they did that didn't work, and try to improve and use what other game have done without reinventing the wheel. Does that make sense?
Yes, of course.
But yeah, a lot of people confuse the environment art with the level design, and that's
But
because
they
I
have to
think
work together.
what?
They have to work together, so each other they can say, "Oh, you can do this, and you have to do this."
Yeah, exactly. So in this case, in my case right now in the stream, I'm trying to do both, because I know you can work with someone else on this like personal project as like, I mean, I guess you can, but like it's hard and blah blah blah. So I like try to think with both mindset. So to make the environment pretty from a silhouette point of view, from like dressing, from colors, from things, but as well as making it functional from a level design point of view, which means making sure that the covers are in the right place, side lines, leading the players, where enemies are spawned, and things like that. Ultimately,
It's
I
very
think
skill.
a lot of people say, "Oh, gameplay first," because that's where they think you need to focus on. Other people say art first, but ultimately, I think the result of both working together is what makes the game good, which is the experience. So if something that you do improve the experience, you're good.
The answer is 50-50.
50-50. Exactly. And thank you, Jonathan, for the comments. Really appreciate. Really appreciate. If you are learning Italian or in general you would like to listen Italian people speaking, if you check Jim channel, he makes he works with ZBrush
Thank you, Leo.
for his project. It's
Thank
always
you,
very
Leo. Of course, I will be pleasured if some international people will come to my channel so I can also speak both languages and not getting old with this my accent.
good. Do you wanna post you should post the link of your stream?
Yeah, I will.
Actually, I'll send
Thanks.
it to Discord because I think the bot will block you. So I will post it for you.
Okay, bye.
I haven't set up the bot, so I don't know how to let people do things.
I have someone that put it for me, but it's too, bad. And no one can talk in caps and stuff like that. I'm more, permitted streamer. I wanna, free for all.
Did you post it like in the chat, in the general discussion? I think I can copy from there.
Sorry, I didn't know it was waiting for me.
I like how earlier I went to your channel and just said, "Oh, stop coming," and your friend, I guess, didn't know me anyway, and she was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, it was fun.
Good.
And I always forgot to. No. Sorry.
And okay, it
Always
worked. I think it worked.
Okay, work. Okay, nice.
I guess only Lolo is not allowed to post link.
Really? Why? Maybe because Ale is a sub and I am not subbed to the chat.
Yeah, it's possible.
So that's
So you have to make a sub for putting your link, eh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Passive aggressive from the bot telling you. I just sent a text to Mate. That's cool. That's cool. What happened there? Yeah, I heard the sound.
No, I wanted to give it to John, but I couldn't choose.
Whoa. I don't know what happened. I'm pretty new with Twitch. I'm like, what the hell?
I think you get the alert for the gifted sub that I made. I wanted to gift it to Jonathan and not Granducato, but I couldn't choose. He went to the Comica Skate. Welcome to the channel.
You're so kind, Ale. You're so kind.
Just for recover all the frontini that I make it for you. I have a pack full for it.
A pack full. So what about you, Jonathan? Are you a game dev? I guess you mentioned that you know ZBrush, you use ZBrush.
Good. But Granducato is working in the same time.
I'm working, so I'm focusing on my task because it's late and
Yeah, here it's 1 a.m., guys. In fact, with a lot of sadness, Leo, Lollo, thank you a lot for inviting me. Well, whenever you want, I can come here with my strong accent and do some frontini for all.
I will
Have
keep
a
that
good
in mind.
live. Compliment for the 7 hours, so you will arrive to the 12.
Yeah, probably do 12 hours. Yeah. I want to see how far I
Nice.
can get with this.
Nice, very good. I'm waiting for. I think you will do some like YouTube videos for that, right?
Yeah, I'll probably do a post or something somewhere making a recap
For
of
the
this.
12 hours, it gets sense for showing everything. Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Lollo. Buonanotte e in bocca al
See
lupo
you.
per
Ciao,
le
Ale.
12 ore. Ciao, Big
Bye,
Leo.
Ale.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao,
Ciao,
ciao, ciao.
ciao.
It's time for you to go to bed, Lollo.
No, it's not my time. I still need to work, so
Yeah, a work machine, eh?
yeah, exactly.
It's
Why you're
because
not
that's
working?
your working time right now because Isa is.
Yes, I'm quiet. No one is around house, so basically everyone is sleeping, and I can work in.
That's nice. No, really, I'm studying front-end development, so I know the basic of HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, etc., and then JavaScript, Angular, and TypeScript, React. But studying game development on my own, so Blend, ZBrush, and stuff. Good to know, Jonathan. I think.
Nice. So it's more a programmer than who is lurking into the world of 3D. Nice.
Yeah, good. Hope you like the game dev environment. Knowing a lot of like knowing how to code in general, it's really good in especially in a small team or especially if you're doing personal project because it allows you to not only create like understand better how to script events and gameplay even if most of the time you got a visual editor to define that, but it also allows you to create tools to improve your workflow, which I guess it will comes later for you, but once you understand how to make 3D and how to make games and things like that, you will understand also what slows you down in terms of workflow, and scripting really helps to improve that. So don't just forget about it. Keep it. Also, there is a role which is called tech art, which is for those people who have a very strong technical mindset, but at the same time they like art and they want to make art bit more. They want to make more technical art, which include things that you interact with in the game, or like things that move, things that uh,
Create
have
particular shader or material or effects or
exactly all the things that artists cannot do because they just look at art and they don't have that sort of mindset of finding
and
solution.
as far as I'm seeing some job searching, job posting, I see there are many positions available for tech artists
Are they?
at the moment. So it's really a needed figure in the industry.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like you are a bit of tech art.
Yeah, maybe, but I'm not too tech.
Yeah, you're very
So
art.
I do what I need to do. But
Yeah, exactly. Like you have a problem, you solve it, whatever it takes.
yes, exactly. But my first approach on how to resolve is not always thinking about scripting or using some code to resolve it. Basically, in first instance, I try to solve with or a workaround or the tools I already made, and if nothing works, I maybe create a line or code or two to solve it.
Partly. You guys got any advice on working with a large and detailed model, maybe breaking up into parts and something? You wanna do you wanna say something about large models, Lalo, since you've done a lot of scanning and things like
Well,
that?
it depends on, well, from my point of view, it depends on what type of large model you mean. I think the more you subdivide it in modular pieces, if it's modular, it depends on the design. The more it is modular, the more small pieces you have, the more control you have, I think. Because if you have an issue with a one mesh, you can only re-import or rework only on that mesh instead of re-exporting or reworking the entire huge model. But it really depends on the building or the building or the mesh you're talking about. If you, for a large detail model, you mean a big, huge, big rock like the one we have here, it's like a cliff or something like that. Big dragon. Big dragon. When we talk about character, well, it's pretty. Are you working it on ZBrush or are you starting from a base mesh in Maya or Blender or? When we are talking about characters, it's more difficult to see as a split mesh. But if you work in a ZBrush, you can use the polygroups to hide, or I don't know the name, the Z tools, but it's easier on ZBrush if you can split and hide and focus on a part. But when we finish with this ZBrush, and you have to deal with what are you doing with this dragon. Is this dragon need to be rigged and then moved? So you need to, maybe it's better if you export as a single mesh.
Let's move to the from Blender.
With this mesh in Blender. But after that, you will need to recreate the base mesh, then transfer them up, bake the details, texturing, and after that, what's the goal of your model? 3D printed. Okay, 3D printed, posed and painted. Yeah, so as long as you don't have to rig or move anything, maybe you can also split the meshes. I don't know about 3D printing. I know that they have special rules on how to work with the model, but I'm not confident in saying that because I've never done it.
Same, yeah. But if you have to pause it first, if you have a lot of polygons, stuff. I think your best bet is to find a way to export it from Blender to ZBrush, as you were saying, and then in ZBrush. I remember there was an option in ZBrush to recalculate the subdivision, right? Do you remember, Lolo?
I don't remember.
Anyway, I think there was like this way to recalculate the subdivision that you don't have anymore, so to go lower with the polygons, and once you get to not very low poly mobile looking mesh, but like to not so many polygons, then you can maybe pose it in ZBrush, especially if you have a lot of polygons like that. And then obviously once you pose the low poly version of your dragon, then you go back to the high resolution, which is should have all the details that you add, and then you should be good to go. Maybe. Maybe. God, look at time. So huge. Yeah, right here. Stopping and then embarking. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Same for us. You never stop learning. I guess you're always learning something new. Every project, every time you have to solve a problem, you're like learning something. But yeah, in general, like when you want to pose a character, and probably Lolo can tell you more about that, you have to weight the vertex based on the joints that you put inside your character. So the more vertex you have, the longer it takes to weight that. So having too many vertex or too little is a problem. So you need to find that fine balance that allows you to pose easily and quickly a character, and then have the high resolution mesh only for rendering, or in your case for exporting or 3D printing.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe if I don't have to only to pose a character, I don't know if I would go for creating a setup and a rig setup with controls and deformation for the dragon. If you only need for a 3D print, maybe, and you are already confident with ZBrush, maybe you can pose it directly on ZBrush. If this is your goal, go for it. So, but if you want to learn by doing this, maybe you can have a look at the rig and how to create a setup for a character.
Which is pretty cool. I still use like rigging tricks when I model stuff, so to achieve certain things. Hmm.
Yeah, Blender is, Blender, but other 3D software are not capable to deal with such high numbers of polygons like ZBrush did. So when you go to other 2D software, or you have a monster machine, or otherwise you have to scale the poly count down and then bake and reuse some other texture. But as long as you go for the 3D print, I think you are not able to. It's not useful to bake the texture down because you need real polygon.
Yeah. Also, I don't know about Blender, but Maya has two types of viewport. One that uses the CPU and one that uses the GPU. And especially if you have a lot of polygons, the one that uses the CPU, obviously, it's much more performing than the CPU one. So maybe there is the same option on Blender. This texture flux is really ugly.
Have you read the question about Blender, Leo?
Have you seen any Maya? How good things are. I think somehow the industry right now is gravitating a bit towards Blender, so it's an hard question to answer, especially for a new beginner. But if you were asking me that 2 years ago, I would say that Blender, Maya and Max are the standard for the industries. I think both like game industry and film industry. So I will suggest to learn that, but because right now we are kind of more open to other software like Blender, for example. I feel like you might find a studio that actually use Blender, and in general, when they try to hire people, they don't look for. They do look for what software someone can use, but they also Like they don't care if someone can use one software of their pipeline because they know that they can teach that software, but they look more on the character of the person, how he's talking, how he's thinking, and things like that, and obviously what the person has done in terms of portfolio. And that
Yes.
works well with the
Software come and
engines.
go.
Sorry?
Software come and go. What's important is what you are, is what you can do. Your view and your artistic eye, or how you work. So yes, as Leo said before, 2 years ago, Blender, no one imagined that Blender could became a standard for the industry, but now it's pretty used in many studios. Epic Games funded
Ubisoft too.
Blender. Yeah, so they got many funds, and when you got fund, you can develop better the software.
If you're looking, if like technical artists usually know more than one software. So if that's something that might interest you for the future, becoming something like technical artist, since you know a lot of programming already and probably you have a more technical mindset, learning both is definitely beneficial. If you have to focus
if you are in... go.
If you have to focus on one, from my point of view, I will focus on Maya, but it's just my point of view. I think Blender is still also a valid 3D package.
But if you are interested maybe in tech art, you should check Udini.
Ah, yeah, for sure. Good point. Yeah, Udini is like the standard for cool magic tricks that you can do with procedural stuff. And usually procedural is on the tech art team, hence. I was looking at this military tower, and there's a military tower that is closed on all sides. And I'm wondering, how can someone get on it? Do they have to vault one of the sides? That's the late. I used that. Let's check a bit of the time of the day now. So when are you gonna start a studio?
I will start a studio
Yeah.
when I don't have any more work to do. When I lose all the job I have.
Like in terms of you need some other type of income, or in terms of
No, in terms of when I don't have any more work to do. Or when you come back to Italy and we started to create
that's what I wanted to hear. Okay, good to know.
Yeah. Okay. So when you want to start your own company, Leo?
When I go back to Italy.
Okay. But we can start our company even on Zoom.
On Zoom?
Yeah.
On Discord. We make a bot. That's how we start the
Or on
company.
Discord. Yeah. Okay.
The premises of the company is that we stream all the game development process.
Okay. So, are we going for a first-person, open world, multiplayer,
Co-op based shooter?
co-op based shooter for our first game?
I think the bot. Let me see if I can control this bot, because I haven't added. Is that from Streamlab, right? What are you thinking? What are you thinking? First person? I don't know. Do you like the idea of first person?
I don't know. I would like to make a game in a top-down view.
Like Divinity sort of thing?
Yeah, like Divinity. Like, have you seen the last Gears of War? Gears of War Tactics.
Thinking about coming back to
Yes.
Spotify Premium? Now that's a great
It
idea.
has a really
With
cool
unlimited
art.
skips, ad-free listening, and
Really cool art.
offline mode.
Amazing art.
Upgrading to
And
Premium is a no-brainer. You can listen to any song, anywhere, anytime, without any limits. Ready to go Premium? Tap the banner to learn more.
I was so curious to I've never modeled something for a game like this with a top-down view, so I was pretty curious to try.
Look at you listening
that's
to
interesting,
Spotify while
definitely.
you do whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah,
The fact
seeing
that
everything.
It makes sense to promote your business.
Yeah, seeing everything from a different size, as long as you see everything from
Your voice can reach as broad
a
or as
more
narrow of an
faraway
audience as you
camera,
need. And connect with them
maybe could
where
be
visual
interesting
media can't.
on
Try it today
having
at
a
studio.spotify.com
better frame of the entire composition
to learn more.
and not focus on a detail, focus on a wall, focus on corridor, and having to deal with a bigger picture.
Indeed. That's interesting. How can I manage this bot? I'm trying to fix this bot issue, Jonathan, but I'm not the one who added, so I'm like trying to figure out where I have to press to allow you to do things. Do you know, Lolo?
No, I'm new to Twitch. I don't have any idea.
What you can try to do, you can post if you join Discord and you post in the general chat, you will be able to send it there. You should find the link in the under the stream. Yeah, I have no idea how to do that. Sorry. I don't know, post it to general chat. I think it's a good channel. Let's see. I don't know if I should go with the night or with the day.
Sunset.
Sunset is
Everything is
so
good at
cheesy.
sunset.
So cheesy. Though it's always sun. So cheesy. Look how spooky this is. Like with this night. Also, the reflection of the water is more like believable. Yeah, we do know that indeed. Who is that? The dragon that you were talking about? Yes. That's a good dragon. Original. That's a small image. You go. Total point 35 million points. It's a lot. But already with just 2 millions, which is I guess the screenshot that you sent, is already working nice. I don't know. Okay, 35 is the old dragon. Yeah, those are a lot of polygons. But it looks good though. Did you make that like yourself or you started from a base? Here's the match from Skyrim as a reference. Cool. That looks good. I like the details. So you want a 3D printer? I'm wondering if the software that you use to can you like from ZBrush file print from there, or you need to go through a software? these lights are not emitting light. Maybe I need to bake lights. So I think yeah, your best way to post that is to do it in ZBrush, because I don't think you can. The software like Maya or Blender can have those amount of polygons. Look at this reflection with this moon. Incredible. 8 hours, Lolo, and never crashed.
Wow.
Let me save right now.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable indeed. Yeah, Blender's gonna kill himself indeed. Maybe they, I don't know. Glad you like it, Jonathan. Can't believe Lolo, you're still playing. You're still like working.
I can't believe it.
You can't believe it either. Like, what time is that? Like 2? 1?
10 to 2.
So that's another thing might happen in the game dev. Overtime or working at weird hours. Probably in the case of FuelLol, it's not much overtime. It's just like finding the time.
No, yeah, exactly. Yesterday I was working and it was almost 2 o'clock. No, yes, it was almost 2 o'clock. I take a look at the clock of the PC and it says 2. Then I continued working. I watched again the clock after a couple of minutes, and it was 3 o'clock. Say what? And then we changed the time zone here in Italy, so I stay at work till 4 a.m.
Dang.
Yeah.
Try to find a good lighting. The sun part.
Some guy called Peter managed to jump a skipping rope over 12,000 times in an hour. Really, it's a world record. We looked it up. Well, we think he'd like Spotify Premium. Instead of just 6 skips an hour, Premium gives you unlimited skips. So you can jump between tracks as much as you like. Learn more about Premium when you tap the banner. Go on, do it for Peter.
No matter how big or small your business is, making your own ad on Spotify Ad Studio is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Let us know what you want your ad to say and pick out your music. We'll voice and produce it at no extra cost. 2.
Jonathan
Spotify
is asking if
listeners
that
based on
gives you
their
an
interests,
extra hour of pay.
demographics, music tastes, and more. 3.
No.
Set your budget, set your dates, and you're done. Try it today at adstudio.spotify.com
It only
or
gets
tap the banner to learn more.
1 hour less of sleep.
Sad time. I got some effects here. I like these. Oh, we got sound flash. Oh, look at this sound flash. Very J.J. Abrams. No, who's the guy who may put a lot of flares